Today, we'll be looking at the topic the hidden libraries of Timbuktu, Africa's lost treasure of knowledge. Let's check some of their images. Some of the images of the lost library that was discovered. The lost libraries that was built then. Amazing structure. Some of the materials that was discovered. Some of the manuscripts that was discovered. For centuries, Europeans referred to Timbuktu as a mythical city of gold hidden beyond the Sahara Desert. Many imagined a place overflowing with riches where merchants traded precious metals and exotic goods. But Timbuktu's greatest treasure was never gold, it was knowledge. Hidden within mud bricks homes, mosques, and private libraries were hundreds of thousands of manuscripts containing scientific discoveries, mathematical calculations, philosophical debates, medical knowledge, and historical records dating back hundreds of years. These manuscripts reveal a forgotten chapter of history, one in which Africa was home to one of the world's greatest centers of learning. This is the story of the hidden libraries of Timbuktu, the city where knowledge became wealth. Timbuktu rose to prominence during the great empire of Mali and Songhai. Situated at the crossroad of trans-Saharan trade route, it connected West Africa to North Africa, the Middle East and beyond. Caravans carrying gold, salt, ivory, and textile arrived daily, but alongside merchants came scholars. Over time, Timbuktu transformed into one of the intellectual capital of the medieval world. Students traveled from distant regions to study there. Teachers gained international reputation. Books became symbols of prestige. In fact, during Timbuktu's golden age, owning rare books was often considered more valuable than owning gold. This is uh, some of the structures, some of the pictures also. Some of the manuscripts. Africa's great university. At the heart of the city stood the famous Sankore Mosque and learning center, often referred to as Sankore University. It attracted thousands of students. Unlike modern universities, learning took place through network of scholars who taught in courtyards, mosques, and homes. Students studied mathematics, astronomy, medicine, philosophy, geography, law, literature, theology. The city became a hub for intellectual exchange. Ideas travel across continents, connecting Timbuktu with Cairo, with Fez, Mecca, and other major centers of learning. For centuries, some of the brightest minds in Africa gathered here. The manuscript that changed the history. As generations passed, scholars began building vast collections of books and handwritten documents. Families carefully preserved these texts, passing them down through generations. Eventually, Timbuktu accumulated hundreds of thousands of manuscripts. The subject covered were astonishing. Some manuscripts discussed advanced mathematical concepts. Others described astronomical observations and planetary movements. There were medical texts explaining treatments of diseases, legal documents, historical chronicles, and philosophical discussions about ethics, governance, and human nature. These writings shattered the long held myth that medieval Africa lacked written scholarship. Some of the concepts that were discussed then, some of the concepts, the manuscripts that were written thousands of years, are some of the mathematical ideas, concepts of Timbuktu, libraries of Timbuktu. Science in the Sahara. Science in the Sahara. One of the most remarkable discoveries within the libraries was the level of scientific knowledge preserved in the manuscript. Some texts contain detailed astronomical calculations. Scholars recorded lunar cycles, planetary movements, and celestial events. Others explored mathematical principles used in trade, architecture, and navigation. Medical manuscripts documented treatments using local herbs and techniques. Legal texts reveal sophisticated systems of governance and justice. Far from being isolated, Timbuktu was deeply connected to global intellectual tradition. Its scholars exchanged ideas with the wider world while developing their own unique contribution. The libraries go into hiding. Over the centuries, Timbuktu faced invasion, political upheaval, and colonial rule. Many feared that the manuscript would be destroyed. To protect them, families began hiding their collections. Books were stored in secret rooms. Some were buried in chests. Others were concealed inside mud bricks wall. For generations, the manuscripts remained hidden from the world. Many historians assumed they had been lost forever. These are some of the manuscripts that were concealed. Some of the old manuscripts that were written then. The Great Rescue Mission. In 2012, Timbuktu faced one of its greatest threats. Armed extremists seized control of parts of northern Mali. There were fears that priceless manuscripts could be burned or destroyed. A remarkable rescue operation began. Librarians, scholars, and ordinary citizens secretly packed thousands of manuscripts into metal trunks and wooden boxes. Under the cover of darkness, they transported them to safety. Some traveled by vehicle, others were smuggled along the Niger River. The mission was dangerous. Many participants risked imprisonment or death, yet they succeeded. An estimated 90% of the manuscripts were saved. It was one of the most extraordinary acts of cultural preservation in modern history. These were the metal drums used to save the manuscripts. A legacy reborn. Today, historians and researchers continue studying the Timbuktu manuscripts. Thousands have been digitalized to ensure their survival. Each newly translated document offers fresh insight into Africa's history, science, mathematics, medicine, and philosophy. The manuscript revealed that Timbuktu was not merely a trading city, it was one of the greatest intellectual centers of the medieval world. Its libraries preserved knowledge that might otherwise have vanished forever. The Hidden Library of Timbuktu are among the most important cultural treasures ever discovered. They tell the story of a civilization that valued learning, scholarship, and intellectual curiosity. For centuries, this manuscript remained hidden beneath the sands of the Sahara and inside families' homes. Today, they stand as powerful evidence that Africa was home to thriving tradition of science, mathematics, philosophy, and literature long before the modern era. Their survival reminds us that knowledge is one of humanity's greatest treasure, and that sometimes the most valuable discoveries are not made of gold but of ideas.